All right, it is media day, and we are talking 26A with Fort Bend Dulles new head coach, Bill Garrey. Coach, talk about getting this job kind of late in the season, but it is a team that you're familiar with because you have spent some time here as an assistant. Talk about how that all played out and how you ended up getting this job as the Vikings' new head coach.
Well, I was excited for the opportunity. It's been a long time dream of mine to be a head coach. I'm 30 years in the game as an assistant in various capacities as coordinators and at a number of stops. And as you mentioned, I do have some familiarity with Fort Bend ISD, having worked at Clements, at Dulles, and at Ridge Point for close to 2 decades. I spent a good deal of time at Dulles in the past and worked under Jim Creech, and have familiarity with the traditions and what it means to the community when things are going well, and the importance that the athletic program and in football in particular can bring to the school community. But as far as coming from outside in, most recently coming from Seven Lakes High School in Katy, district has changed, but there's a lot of things that I would say are still in place. There's a lot of the X's and O's are going to change. The various head coaches and the programs that they've tried to instill at their respective schools. Some of that has changed, but football's still football. The dimensions of the field haven't changed. Style of play is going to be largely dictated, by the kids that we have. I'm sure you're going to ask, specifics as far as, hey, what are y'all going to run on offense? What are y'all going to run on defense? And I think the longer I've done this, I think as much as we all have our little pet, plays and systems that we like to run, I think it's a little bit naive to come in and say, by God, we're going to do this. We're going to run these things without taking into consideration the kids that we have. But I think my interest in coming back home to Dulles, was largely tied to, I feel a connection to the school community. I feel like I know what kind of things, are necessary to put the program back on track.
Well, you were right, Coach. That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you what style of play you're going to try, but I'm going to switch that up to the point of, what do you think about how long it may take to see what you have? I mean, obviously you weren't there for spring ball, so you got those couple weeks before the season starts. How long do you hope it will take, or how short a time do you hope it will take before you can figure out what you have and what kind of style you do want to implement?
That's the $64,000 question, and my wife is constantly asking me, what are you thinking about when I'm walking around the house or when I'm up late at night with a glazed look on my face? And that's one of those things, because you don't know till you know. But I would say I have a good sense right now, based on, you have to kind of rely on the tape of the kids that you've seen, from the previous season, how they've stacked up against the district opponents and whatnot, based on my observations, the limited time I've been on campus, and in our summer workouts and everything. And then also, kind of as I'm assembling my coaching staff, kind of really, I'm trying not to pigeonhole any kids with, I don't want to go into this with predisposed, like, this is what you did last year, so that's all you can do right now. I'm trying to keep an open mind and really assess this as open-minded as I possibly can. But in terms of pinpointing a time, I would say it's going to be, fortunately we pick up an extra scrimmage, with not doing spring. And so we're going to take full advantage of that. What we look like in, the first week to the second week, going into, scrimmage 1, scrimmage 2, it may be completely different. I honestly can't say. I think defensively, we will have a better sense of where we're at. just because of, again, regardless, not to oversimplify things, but I think defensively, um, I think it's always about lining up sound, running to the football, and getting people on the ground. And whether you do that out of a 4-3, a 3-4, a 3-3 stack, or whatever else, I think it's still the same. And the elements that we will draw from on offense are much the same. We want to make sure that we can run the ball. We want to be able to attack, attack inside on the perimeter. We want to be able to spread the field when we want to. Now, does that mean we're going to sling it around all over the place? Does that mean we're going to ground and pound? Again, that's going to largely be dictated by the kids that we have and how they take to these systems. But I would say it's going to be, the scrimmages are going to be, they may look a little rough. I think you have to, I think sometimes it's important that you experience a little bit of failure so you can grow from it and you can learn, coaches and kids included. And so, we're going to have our bumps and bruises along the way. But, I'm hoping as we start rolling into district play early on, we will have developed a sense of identity offensively and defensively, and we'll have a better sense of direction.
That's awesome. And again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the fall.
All right. Thank you so much.